Hi guys, welcome back to another Randy Maz golf video. Starting off here on hole 10, it's a par 4, 340 yards to the green. Some tree trouble up at about 270, but if you can get it past there, you are pretty much set. And I decided that was worth the risk of tree trouble and went for it. And I think it turned out pretty well. So I sent up an absolute bomb here, 309 yards off the tee. I've got 31 yards into this pin. It's a front pin location tucked away onto the right-hand side of the green. So with that 60 degree, just taking a nice, easy three-quarter swing, letting the club do the work. Unfortunately, flew a little bit further than I was hoping. Ended up just off the green, off the back. This third shot we're looking at, most of the time I'm going to be putting this, but I've been working on shots like this on the practice green, so I felt very confident in my chipping. I've got about 4 feet of green to work with here, sloping from right to left and downhill. So my aiming point on this is right in the middle of the fringe, about 2 feet to the right of the pin, using the fringe to slow the ball down just enough and letting it just kind of fall and trickle into the hole. I was really happy about this. I know it doesn't look like it. I didn't have much of a reaction, but this was the second chip-in birdie that I had today. So it was slightly underwhelming, but I was still really stoked. On to our second hole, hole 11, which is a 425-yard par 4 dogleg right. There is water on this hole, water in the landing zone, which eats a lot of golf balls. So preferably going to want to put a 200-yard shot right here, trying to keep it as low as possible. And what that 200-yard shot is going to do is it's going to land on the fairway, presumably, and it's going to let gravity do the work for you. So it's going to play some of that dog leg, and it's going to roll downhill. So that 200-yard shot's going to turn into a 240, 250-yard shot, setting you up really nicely for this green. So landed to the right of the fairway, so I missed out on my extra 40 yards, but that's okay. Overall, this isn't too bad of an approach shot. Unfortunate place just because of the trees. I don't have a clear line of sight on the pin. And decided to go with a 6-iron to give some extra loft and try and play the wind a little bit, get a little bit extra distance with the height. Overall, didn't quite get to the green, but I came pretty close, and my ball stayed dry, so overall, doing okay. So I didn't take as much time as I should have lining up this chip. Where I should have put my shot is about right here, and a little bit short just to let the hill kind of gradually pull it towards the hole. But I think I was feeling a little bit overconfident from my last chip in and ended up kind of screwing this up. That left me with about a 10-foot putt, which was a little bit from right to left uphill, and just didn't feel very confident about this. And with that, I give back the stroke that I shaved off on hole 1, leaving me at even through 2. So here we have hole 12. It's a short par 3. Big landing zone for this green. However, with the pin being on the front, you definitely want to keep it on the front of this green, as there is a hill separating the front and the back part of this green that can be very tricky to deal with. So the shot goes a little bit more to the left than I would like, but still overall a decent setup for the next shot. So second shot came off, like I said, a bit to the left of the pin, but it was pin high, so I was pretty happy about that. However, a little bit of a tricky lie on this shot, as it was right up against the rough. So I ended up leaving this shot a little bit short, probably about 5.5 feet for par, sliding from left to right. So I think this putt is especially disappointing for me because I did leave it short, which is something that I have been working on since about last year. So leaving a putt short means that it never had the chance to even get to the hole and go. So this is hole 13. Its nickname is Jaws. This is a double dogleg par 5, 585 yards. So the trees are at about 190 yards, which isn't too bad to carry. However, you need to get the ball elevated to about 50 feet in order to clear those trees. Now with this swing, I ended up finishing falling back on my back foot, which means I was trying to scoop the ball. So I wasn't thinking about my proper technique, which meant that I ended up hitting a shot that leaked to the left, and I ended up losing this ball. So now we're here at what is now my third shot, and what I'm thinking here is just getting something up to where I can see the pin and in the fairway. So I'm not trying to go for anything, just trying to set myself up for my next shot. And this ball didn't even get off the ground. It was a certified worm burn. So this is about where I wanted to be. As you can see on the right there, the fairway is slanting from right to left. So if I had hit it too much further, ball would be above my feet. And if I would have hit it shorter, the tree on the left would have been directly in my way. So on this shot, I just wanted to focus on a nice, easy swing. Unfortunately, wasn't quite enough to get me past the false front on this green. Alright, so what we're about to watch here was very painful for me to relive. It's what I'd like to call a rookie mistake. And that mistake was I picked my head up as I was making contact with the ball. And as a result, I caught this ball really thin, which sent it flying past the hole. On a positive note, I did hit the pin, but this left my next shot in probably the worst place I've ever been on this hole.
Yep, that's where it is. It's gonna be fun.
So I was so frustrated from the last hole that I forgot to press the record button on the first shot. Needless to say, it wasn't the greatest. So I have a sand trap and 2 trees in the way of the green, so I'm taking my 5-iron, little 3/4 swing, trying to keep it low and get it past the sand. So with this chip shot, I've got some green to work with. The green is slanting from right to left, so I'm looking to put this chip a little bit to the right and let it kind of drop down. It was the right aiming point, but just didn't quite have enough on it to get where I would like it to be. So here we've got about 11 feet for par. Would much prefer to have been closer. You want your par putts to be a lot closer than 11 feet. I read this putt breaking a lot more from right to left than it actually did, so I ended up missing high, and I also sent it pretty far past the pin. So after gaining 7 strokes on the last 2 holes, all that I'm thinking on this tee box is just put something down the middle that's going to get over that hill and in the fairway, playable. So take my time, focus on my swing, make sure I get my hips through on my follow through, and off it goes. And there it is, straight down the middle. Nice little line drive. Hit the hill and came down on the other side, gave me some extra distance. So this green is a bit more forgiving if you hit short, so you'd rather be short on this green than long. As you can see, everything behind the green is just a big hill, so hitting a downhill chip is no fun, just because everything just runs away from you. Fortunately, I was able to get this on the front of the green, and it is a front pin location, so I'm pretty happy. So here we got a 12-footer par, breaking from right to left, and just wanted to get this close, hopefully get it in. As you can see, they're just missing it on the low side, but just a 1-footer tap in for par, which will stop the bleeding. So hole 16 here is a dog leg left, wraps around a pond that's on the left-hand side, pretty much does a 90-degree angle. So we're hitting this direction, but the green is actually way off to my left. People do try to carry over the pond to make the hole shorter, but you got to carry like 280 into the wind. So that 3 hybrid puts me into the fairway with about 170 or so yards to go, which is right on the money for my 6 iron. This hole also tends to play longer just because it's into the wind, which also means any draws or fades will be exaggerated into slices or hooks. So sending this one up felt really good, made good contact, and ended up on the back of the green.
Okay.
So we got a 20-footer here for birdie, breaking left to right, a little bit downhill. As I watched this putt go past the hole, I saw how much it broke right there. So to me, it looked like I needed to put maybe about an inch and a half outside of the cup to compensate for that break. And by golly, did it not even break at all. So I ended up bogeying this. So this little par 3 has a big guarding sand bunker on the front right, as well as additional sand bunkers on the back right. So the safe play here is always going to be playing it to the left. However, I thought that I could get to the green and get to the pin, but I was wrong. It's Sandy Randy time. It never seems like a round of golf unless I'm in the sand at some point, and I guess this is the time to be in the sand. Went with a 60-degree just so I could make sure that I had enough loft to get over that lip. So here we got about 16 feet for par, sliding from right to left and a little bit downhill. And I gave it a little bit too much credit, but I hit it at exactly the right speed, so settle for a bogey. Well, we made it to the last hole. This is a par 5 dogleg right. There's water on the right, and there's out of bounds past those trees on the left, which is the driving range. So typically I try and finish this hole off with a power fade and kind of cut the corner, trying to put the ball in the fairway here. Unfortunately, didn't do that and ended up going out of bounds on the left. So from here, there's water protecting the green on the left, and the green is essentially out of reach for me, so I just lay up with a 5-iron, putting it back into the fairway and giving myself as good an opportunity as I can for the chip.
Chunked it. Chunker. Chunker, chunk.
Alright, so I'm putting for par here. It's about 8 feet uphill. It was just a couple inches from going in. Well, folks, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like or comment. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free. And it really helps me out, so I'd appreciate it. Until next time, Randy out.